the king's officials and the people of the royal provinces know that for any man or woman who approaches the king in the inner court without being summoned, the king has but one law, that he be put to death. The only exception to this is for the king to extend the gold scepter to him and spare his life. But 30 days have passed since I was called to go to the king. When Esther's words were reported to Mordecai, he sent back this answer. Do not think that because you are in the king's house, you alone of all the Jews will escape. For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place, but you and your father's family will perish. And who knows but that you have come to royal position for such a time as this. Christmas time is all about incarnation. Carne meaning meat, flesh. Incarnation, the coming into flesh of Jesus Christ into our world. But now as Christmas is over and we look towards the new year, let's reflect on the next part of God's plan for mankind. You see, Jesus arrived, and then you did, and I did. And it's like God whispers to all of humanity, it's your move, it's your turn. Esther was just a totally ordinary teenage girl who finds herself in the very palace of the king. And because of her obedience and her faithfulness to God and the calling in her life, she is able to save her entire nation. See, you were placed within your family, within your community, and within your nation to be the incarnation of God to those around you, to carry his message of hope. One of the ways that we as a movement are hoping to train up the next generation is through a course called the Vision Course, where we help people discover the passions and the dreams that God has placed within them, and we train them up to step out into that calling. Maybe that's something that you could come and join us and do if you want to take the next step for such a time as this. Or maybe you already know the dream that God has called you to. And this new year will see you taking new risks and making new steps towards seeing that dream come into reality. As we reread this passage, let's reflect on God leaning towards us and whispering, it's your move. For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place, but you and your father's family will perish. And who knows but that you have come to royal position for such a time as this. Jesus, I pray that in this new year, we will, each of us, discover the calling that you have placed on our lives. I pray that we would know that we have been raised up for such a time as this to be a voice of hope to our nation. I pray that you would guide us in the steps that we need to take as we walk towards our calling. Jesus, meet with us.